You're listening to the AlaREIA Master Class Podcast. What's going on, everybody? It's Brian Trippe. I'm here in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. I'm so glad you decided to join us today. Got a great guest. Mr. Damon Remy is going to join us in just 1 second. We've got a ton going on. I hope you're coming to our monthly meetings. The AlaREIA meetings are the second Thursday of every single month. We're meeting at the Embassy Suites Hotel in Homewood, so make sure you come and join us. Doors open as early as 5 for networking. The actual meeting gets started around 6:30. Got world-class speakers coming in, teaching you guys quality real estate. So make sure you're checking out our meetings. We obviously have the podcast. It's been up and running. We're on episode number 26 now and going strong. So very, very excited that you guys are tuning in and learning and growing as I am. So really appreciate that. And check out our daily REIA show. We still do the daily REIA that's on our Facebook page. It's on our alareia.com page, on our YouTube page. So check us out, ALAREIA, alareia.com. So I want to talk to Damon today. How you doing today, Damon?
I'm good, man. A little bit rainy here in St. Louis, but we'll get through it.
Cool, man. Hey, Damon Remy is in St. Louis. He is I don't want to get this wrong, you're the co-founder, the founder of REI Blackbook?
I did have a business partner that we originally founded, so co-founder would be the accurate term, but we've since bought him out, and I'm on my own, quote unquote.
So for those that don't know what REI Blackbook is, I'm going to let Damon explain it. But Damon's been in the real estate space for a long time, and the way I actually met Damon, well, I guess met his company, so to speak, is a lot of you know my story. You know, I've got the rich dad background. They actually they forced me to have this thing called REI Blackbook. And what's this $97 a month that's coming out of my checking account every month? I didn't really know what it was. I didn't really know how to utilize it right off the bat. But once I started diving into it, I'm almost a 5-year subscriber to his software. So, Damon, I want you to kind of explain it because I'm going to do a bad job. What is REI Blackbook?
In a nutshell, it's your all-in-one sales marketing platform specifically designed for real estate investors. So to help you build your marketing lead generation funnels, to capture those leads, to nurture them, which really candidly is where most investors fail miserably, all about the follow-up, right? So how do you nurture those prospects? And then once you actually get the deal, how do you actually manage the deal? Through how do you pull comps? How do you analyze the deal? All the way to how do you actually market the deal for the end buyer? End buyer, it could be lease option, it could be renter. Doesn't necessarily matter your exit strategy. We're going to help you to market that property. And if you can imagine that's all on one integrated platform. So it kind of comes 360, if you will. So, and all in the cloud, all those software as a service.
So you just gave me so it does all of that?
Everything, and there's a phone system too. I forgot did I mention text messaging? Did I mention, we do a lot. I think we use the word, as we were talking a while ago, comprehensive. Is that,
so
is that a good word?
What doesn't it do? It doesn't go out to the property for you and put it under contract.
Almost. We actually, we jokingly, I'll tell you, if you want to go to printmoneybutton.com, you'll see, because that's when we actually used to joke. It's like, man, the next thing we just got to figure out how to do print money. And so we created printmoneybutton.com. I'm not going to give away the joke. You're going to have to go to printmoneybutton.com to kind of see what that's really about. Okay. But we tried to print money. Okay. So it's not recommended, by the way. Don't print money at home, but no, sincerely, we really kind of, where we all got started in this space is, I'm actually a recovering mortgage broker. And our niche was really catered towards real estate investors. So that's what we focused on, is providing financing, the non-owner occupied financing, for real estate investors. And I love technology and I love marketing, right. But I was a mortgage guy, and on the marketing side, you always try to, solve people's problems, right? That's really, truly what you're trying to do. And if you focus on that, even as a real estate investor, any business, to be honest, if you just focus on solving your prospects' problems, it's going to align you pretty well to do well in your business. And we knew that if we could help real estate investors do more deals and do them faster, they would need more money and come back to us for financing more frequently. And so we started just building a hodgepodge of tools to do just that. And candidly, it was working like gangbusters. We were doing 100+ loans a month. And, we're an average loan officer, to be candid, if they're doing 5 to 6, 7 loans a month, they're crushing it. We were doing 100+ loans a month, just doing really, really well in the space. And then 2008 came along and took away all my dreams and all my hopes. Candidly, 2008, really that whole mortgage market meltdown, just that whole financial collapse, it really crushed all the non-owner occupied programs that were available. Those were really some of the first loans that were taken away. So we went from doing like 100 loans a month to like 10 overnight. Unfortunately, your income is proportionate with that. So it was a pretty rough time, but we stepped back and we looked at the tools that we had built, and it was just tools to help them advertise and market their properties. We built little websites for them.
You did that as a mortgage broker?
We did. Yeah. That's exactly, as a mortgage broker, man, we just gave the tools away right here in St. Louis. We literally just gave the tools away kind of on the condition that, hey, use us for your financing and you can use our tools. And if we can help you do more deals and if it's of value, then come back. Now it's not quite then it wasn't really the platform it is today. It was kind of a hodgepodge of tools.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, totally a hodgepodge of tools. We built a Craigslist generator to help them advertise their properties on Craigslist, email blasting tools, all those kinds of things. But they were really separate individual tools. But we'd build them and we'd literally just give them away to the list. That was the other thing we did really well as well. We had a list of all the real estate investors in town. And so this was 2004, by the way. I mean, this is like way before all these other email programs, MailChimp and all that stuff. And so you'd email us and then we'd blast it out to the email list. So if you had a deal that maybe you weren't going to do, so you'd wholesale it, or if you needed a vendor or contract or anything like that, you'd email us and we'd blast it out. So that's how it all started. And then, like I said, 2008 kind of really took the rug out from under us. I've got the story, man. Foreclosure, bankruptcy, you name it. Been there, done that.
Wow.
Definitely left a mark. But we stepped back and we looked at it and said, the reality is this is going to be one of the best times for real estate investors to start buying. And although we can't do their loans because, those programs pretty much went away for us, we knew they'd go out and find private money. Hard money lenders started popping up, institutional lenders. But we looked at these set of tools that we had and said, man, what if we package those up in a more comprehensive manner, right? A more comprehensive package. Because what we had done is we looked at it, we really had actually started building tools and started replacing, next thing you know, it was like 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 different software products that we were doing all those things. And so you could replace all those different individual products, but it was all on one platform. And so October 1st, 2009, we actually took our first paying customer and started charging the 90. Well, I got to be honest, October 1st, 2009, we were trying to raise money. So we had this big party, free pizza and beer at that time. I'll tell you, your doors will get, we had 400 people show up. I mean, it was insane. Free pizza and beer. We actually spent a lot more money on pizza and beer than we anticipated that night. But we kind of gave them the pitch. We showed everybody, said, hey, this is what we plan on doing. We were looking for investors, basically. Told them, look, if you pay us $1,000 tonight, you'll never have to pay another monthly subscription. And we had 50 people sign up that night. And that gave us the seed capital, if you will, to actually go hire our very first developer. Because I'd been outsourcing most of the development up until that point. Brought him on staff and basically said, hey, here's the plan. We're going to actually build an integrated platform. So all these individual tools, we're going to put it all on one platform. And then so you came along, if you're 2012, we actually started, it was interesting, fairly quick. 2010, Rich Dad really found the tool, one of their coaches, trainers, and loved what we were doing. Said, hey, this could certainly help our students. And so we really got connected up with Rich Dad, which is ultimately where you and I ultimately crossed paths, whether it wasn't personally at that time.
Right.
But yeah, that's really kind of where we got connected.
So I met you last October, I think, at a little mastermind group in St. Louis. And I was like, oh, so you're the REI Blackbook guy. I got some questions for you. So,
yeah.
And I want to, and we talked offline. You said it was okay for me to ask you this. This is where I kind of, and I want you to talk to this. I want you to really brag on how great it is, because it is great. It's so comprehensive. It literally does everything that you could even think. Whatever you think you need in your business, your real estate business, it does. Since that is the case, it's definitely not going to be for the person. You're not going to be able to figure out how to do it in a minute, in a day. So kind of talk to that point. How would one, if they do end up, looking you up right now, our listeners, and they want to use you, which I highly recommend, how do you recommend kind of getting started with the platform so they can utilize it most effectively?
So I got to tell you, it depends on your personality type, right? I mean, it really depends. So first of all, it is a very comprehensive package, and it is really tough to make the complex simple. I mean, that's the hardest thing that software guys do, is taking complex processes and making them as simple as possible. And it is so comprehensive. A lot of times people say, hey, you know what? I find that I'm not using this part. Like we got a whole bird dog engine. It's like actually manage all of your bird dogs. What I always tell folks is the reality is this. You don't have to use every single aspect. I've got guys that are doing 100, 200. Actually, talked to one of the members the other day. He had just done 100 deals in 100 days. So the cool thing about the platform, this is what I want most people to understand, is that you are not going to outgrow the platform, right? So you can come in as a solopreneur. You're kind of, doing this, swinging hammers on your own, whatever it is that you're doing. We're going to come in and we're still going to simplify and automate your life as much as possible. And there's really multiple different ways. I mean, we've got training videos. We do boot camps. I do accelerator live events where you can actually come hang out in my office and we'll sit side by side. We'll implement this stuff. We got lots of different ways to do it. But to be candid, what I always encourage folks to do is you got to analyze really the stuff that you love to do and the stuff that you just know that has to get done, but it's not in your wheelhouse, or you just hate doing it. Mm-hmm. And if you're not technically inclined, you don't necessarily have to be. I actually just talked to, it's funny, I was actually at a mastermind event this weekend on Saturday, and I had an older couple. They actually buy and sell here in St. Louis. I love their Gramps and Granny buys houses. That's who they are.
That's
okay.
Awesome.
And it literally, if you met them and saw them, you'd be like, okay, yeah, that's definitely Gramps and Granny.
Wow.
And they've been members for a long time, and they watched my presentation, and they came up and they pointed out a couple of flaws in my presentation, which is interesting because they're like, Damon, you totally missed out on something really important today. I was like, really? What's that? They're like, we don't know any of this tech stuff. But the funny thing is like when we get leads, or I'm supposed to call somebody back, or I'm supposed to do something, I get a reminder on my phone, and it just emails me or it texts me, and I don't even have to log in, and I still know what to do. Yeah. So it really depends upon the level, like what you want to do. We got tons of ways to, for instance, here's a perfect example. Our website builder. You can press a button and build out a complete WordPress site, has property integration, web forms integration, capture leads, follow up, and that'll take you all of about 3 to 4 minutes, and it'll be completely done. And that could be ready to go out of the box. You literally change your logo, and it's good. Mm-hmm. You're done. But if you're the guy that's like, hey, you know what? I really want to customize that. I want this background. I want to change it and tweak it. Then we've got the editor that allows you all of that flexibility. Mm-hmm. So we try to cater as much as we possibly can to what we call the Apple user, Android user, and the caveman user, right? Those are our 3 users, right? The Apple user is, they love, that it just all works together, right? And it looks beautiful, and your iPhone's going to automatically work with your Apple TV, works with your iPad and your MacBook, right? It just kind of all works, and you don't even know how it works, but it's cool. You just log on and it works. And then you got the Android user. Those typically tend to be a little bit more techie. They love to customize stuff, everything else. They always get the latest and greatest, even though it's funny how that works because Apple tells us, because I'm an Apple user at the end of the day. I'm an iPhone guy. Apple tells us that we're getting the latest and greatest stuff, but really it's like that stuff's been out for a couple years. And then you got that caveman user that literally just wants to push a button, have it done, and then just send me an email and tell me what I got to do. So we really try to cater to all 3 of those markets. which is no easy task.
It's got to be very difficult. Do you think that that's probably the most difficult thing that you've had to do over the course of maybe the last 7 years doing this, 8 years doing this?
Yeah, 100%. The number one challenge is, I do things a little different. I guess we do things a little different than most software development companies, if you will, or tech companies, because the truth of the matter is most of the time they tell you, hey, just go do this one thing and do it really well and do it better than everybody else.
Right. And
by the way, that's a lot easier to sell and it's a lot easier to explain, right? If it's super easy, it's like, hey, we do autoresponders. That's all we do. So like Aweber or MailChimp, right? Like that's what they do. They do autoresponder campaigns, email autoresponder campaigns. That's all they do, but they do it really, really well. The problem though, so that I could probably make a ton more money is the real answer. If I just did one thing, like, hey, we're just going to do websites and we could probably crush it and do a lot, like sell even more than we do. And we do okay. So I'm not complaining by any means, but deep down, man, I don't think I'd be doing most investors justice. And what I mean by that is like, okay, fine, you got to go get Aweber. Then you got to go get WordPress or OnCare or some other website. And then you got to figure out how to make those talk. And then you got to, now how do I get my properties on my website? Now you got to go get some other widget or some other plugin. And how do I actually integrate my voice system? So whenever people actually call in, how can that actually integrate with my contacts or text in or text to join? And so if I step back and I look at it from a tech systems guy, I'm like, I know they need all that stuff. They may not need it right out of the gate, but I know they're going to want it. And unfortunately, what starts to happen is they start to piecemeal this stuff together. And next thing you know, they got multiple system chaos, and it takes more time to manage the system than it's really saving you. And so we kind of took it on ourselves, if you will, to say, you know what, we're not going to take the easy path and just go sell websites, because I know they need this other stuff. And that's really kind of the path we chose.
Yeah. So Damon, step one, I sign up. I want REI Blackbook. I want you guys to be my CRM. I want you guys to be have my phone numbers, my phone system, my follow up, my funnel, every single thing. I'm sold. I want you to do it. What's step one? Like besides signing up, like how do I actually get started?
Yeah. I tell people, to be honest, don't let the tech drive your business. Let the business drive your tech. Okay. So, and what I mean by that, because I hear it all the time, and you told me in the beginning of the call when we were kind of chatting, was, you feel like you don't use everything possible.
Not even close.
Right. And that's the thing. You don't let the tech drive your business. So the first step, sincerely, is have a business plan. Like, understand what you really, truly want to do. Mm-hmm. Because if you just come in and kind of push some buttons, and we can build a lot of automation out of the box for you. But if you don't know what you really want to get accomplished, then it almost then you're kind of, that's when you get caught up in tech hell, to be honest. So I always encourage folks, make sure, you're coming to the REIA Club meetings. You're coming to the REIA Club meetings. You're connecting with experienced guys, coaches, mentors. If you've never done real estate and you're just getting started, you need to understand what your plan is first. Yeah. What's your marketing plan, and get really focused on that.
Okay, so let me interject real quick. All right, let's play scenario. Let's play a scenario game just real quick. I'm a wholesaler. Okay. Yep. I'm just, there might be a new wholesaler listening. I want to use REI Blackbook. I'm about to drop, 1,000 mailers a week for the next 4 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is. I'm just getting started. How do I integrate? This may be a really difficult question to explain over a podcast, but how do I integrate that with your system and to where the leads get nurtured and everything, and I'm trying to get a deal and wholesale it?
So the first thing that you have to be able to do on any marketing, you've got to be able to track your marketing, right? So that hey, I got 10 calls from that postcard, from the yellow postcard versus 2 calls from the red postcard. Okay, guess what? I need to put more money into the yellow postcard. So the only way you can effectively track that is with unique phone numbers. Yep. Okay. So we provide you a unique phone number so you can actually track the incoming calls and know those calls came from the yellow postcard versus the red postcard. So that's the first out of the box. Now, the cool thing in just that is, since the phone system is already integrated with the CRM, when they call in, we automatically create a contact in your CRM, right? So that's kind of the cool integration part. But just out of the box, if all you wanted to do is send out a postcard and have a phone number to track, then that would be the first thing you would do. If you wanted to give them a second option, which would be possibly going to a web page or a website to get more information. So if we're maybe we're advertising, marketing to a probate campaign. So we can set up our probate phone number. Here we go. So now we know that that's probate calls coming in. It's cool because it actually uniquely pops up in your phone, so you know how to answer it, because it can ring right to your cell phone. It doesn't have to ring to a desk phone or anything like that. It's all IP-based telephone stuff. The next piece would be, okay, let's build a page specific to that particular market, right? So I want to drive onto this landing page, and we call them landing page guys. I mean, landing pages, squeeze pages, opt-in pages. At the end of the day, it's just a website page, right? Kind of single-purpose website. So we provide the landing pages as well, and so you can build out multiple landing pages, and if they go there, we're going to provide the web forms, and then that's going to dump the contact right into the CRM, and more importantly, trigger the automated intelligent follow-up, right? And the money really is in the follow-up. That's where most people fail.
Definitely. So it's going to automatically start like a follow-up campaign, like an email autoresponders.
Yeah, it could literally be an email autoresponder campaign. You can have multiple users. So for instance, if you've got an acquisitions team, it could actually literally create a task list so that it could trigger them to actually make the outbound phone calls. It could trigger letters, emails, all kinds of follow-up.
All right. So guys, all right, I'm kind of admitting my faults here. I do not do this with REI Blackbook, and I'm doing all of what you just said through Podio. And everything you just said is exactly what I do in Podio, but I could do it with you guys instead of paying two different people.
That's 100%. Yeah, that's what, honestly, and at the end of the day, man, I mean, that's where people get really, you start getting overwhelmed, and that, when you ask what I could do better, that's what I could do better, is educating our existing user base. Hey, really, we are the complete solution. Chances are you can do it. I got to tell you, I would tend to bet probably most of your listeners are doing, less than probably 50 deals a year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If that's you, I guarantee you could do everything you need to do to be super successful and expand and grow your business to beyond the 50 deals a year. Yeah. I mean, all on one platform.
And so, Damon, that kind of leads me into that next step. So I sign up. I want REI. You've sold me. I want REI Blackbook. I think that it's going to be the solution to my business, but I want that individual training. You do a lot of events. I know you kind of briefly mentioned what kind of event. You've got the boot camp. You've got some other stuff. What do you offer for the actual live training that I can get that and understand it better?
Yeah, so I do 2 boot camps a year. Typically one in the spring, one in the fall. I think the next one coming up is like October 20th, something like that, maybe 20th to the 22nd.
No falls down here in Alabama, Alabama fans. We're maybe I hate to admit this, there might be some Auburn fans, but we can't really do anything on weekends in the fall.
Well, maybe we can stream the game for you guys. But I grew up in Texas, man. High school football was everything. It's like so it's the same thing as like Friday nights, man. Everything was shut down. So I get it. But yeah, we do one in the fall, one in the spring. Those are 3-day boot camps. You basically come hang out. Typically anywhere from 100 to 200 investors at those events, and we do 3 days of training on the platform. I've got a ton of training videos. And training videos aren't for everybody. Everybody's got their own taste and style. Some people can watch the training videos, but everything you can do inside REI Blackbook, we got training videos on. So those are all on demand. I also do live Q&A. In fact, I did one right before the call. Before this call, I do live Q&As every Wednesday. So you can pop on with me personally every Wednesday, and we kind of walk you through anything you want. You ask a question, I'll answer it. And then we also do what we call accelerator events. Those are 2 days. You come to my office. I limit those to like 5 people at a time. And so you come in and I'll pair you up with somebody on my team, on my staff. And for 2 days, we'll actually implement and build out your funnel. So if what I was describing earlier sounded foreign, like you're like, okay, conceptually, I get it. You send out the postcard, unique phone number, unique landing page. That would be great theoretically, but man, I don't even know where to begin. So we kind of teach you all of the strategy behind it and then get in and tactically build it out with you. And that's what we call really all this done for you stuff. Done for you used to be a really hot marketing term in this real estate space. Mm-hmm. It frustrates me because if it's truly done for you, unless you keep paying me, it's not going to be done, right? Sure. I mean, it's you got to keep paying me, and they're building dependency. That's the part you guys got to realize. So we call it a done with you, because I want you to come out and actually learn it so that you can replicate that again and again. So yeah, that's what we got going on.
Very cool. And you touched on this earlier, and I kind of cut you off, but just people should understand, but talk to the importance of systems and follow up and how REI Blackbook can partner with you in making that successful.
Yeah, I heard a really good quote the other day, and I wish I would have remembered who said it or whatever, but trying to explain systems, right? I think, well, I'll tell you, Robert Kiyosaki, he talks about a dentist, right? And, all the schooling, all the student loans, probably all that debt he's in, and probably makes a good living, right? But the problem is if the dentist actually leaves and goes on vacation, he's not working on teeth and he's not making money.
That's right.
And so what he's done is he's created a job. He's not truly created a business, right? That's the core concept of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book anyways, right? But that really comes down to having systems in place, and systems are imperative. I mean, it's absolutely the only way that you're going to get paid consistently and repeatedly in this business. So if you're out there and you're having some inconsistencies in your in paychecks, or you're not getting paid at all, it's probably because you don't have systems in place. But the quote I heard the other day, or somebody kind of said, if you can go on vacation and you come back and there's more money in your bank account than when you left to go on vacation, then you actually have a business and you have systems in place, right? Sure. And so that's kind of the core strategy, core philosophy of what we try to do is how do we help you systematize? And systematize doesn't always mean technology. It can really sometimes just be, hey, here's the checklist of how to get this deal done.
Sure.
And that checklist now, so that's the thing I want you guys to think about. I mean, you might have that checklist on a piece of paper, but the problem with that is if that piece of paper gets lost or anything else, how do you share that with the rest of your team? And how do you actually start replicating that for other people as you bring them in? And that's the beauty of kind of then bringing in the technology piece to help centralize all that stuff.
Awesome. So is there a way you're like the tech guy, we should be able to figure this out. Is there a way we can set up some sort of link on my website where people can click on it and go, hey, sign up for REI Blackbook? We can do something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah,
awesome.
It'll be super easy.
I'm gonna make it it's AlaREIA.com, AlaREIA.com, and I'll just do /REI Blackbook. That's simple.
Yeah.
And then
we'll set that up.
We'll set that up and we'll create a little link. You guys, I've been using this for almost 5 years now, and I use 10% of it. But it's so I've been paying for it for 5 years, so it's obviously beneficial to me to use only that 10%. I'm obviously I'm going to make a point to start using it better, more efficiently for me. But Damon, the thing about Damon that really impressed me about him is, guys, he's super, super generous with his time, with his knowledge. I've reached out to him a few times since I met him, and he's been very, very generous with his time, giving me a couple of contacts. So that's the kind of person you're going to get involved with. That's the kind of business you're going to get involved with. So I highly recommend it. I don't ever recommend stuff that I don't personally use. So really cool. Damon, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Sincerely, I appreciate you having me. And we'll help you get that link set up and be happy to answer any additional questions for anybody you got out there.
That's awesome, guys. Hey, and if you guys like what you heard, subscribe to our podcast. We really do appreciate you guys. Rate us, review us. We love you. See you soon.